Okay, welcome back to One Piece Anime Re-Review Part 18C. These are going to the last 12 episodes of the Water 7 arc, episodes 252 to 263. Yes, the episodes that feature the actual steam train itself. The very first episode is very simply Nico Robin getting on the train and going off to Enies lobby. I can't remember if it was Edros lobby, but it's Enies lobby. Meanwhile, though, Nami, who survived basically being killed. I should also point out, though, I forgot to mention this, that in the case of that when they show the character Spot him in his present day, he is wearing a leather mask. People have pointed out to Mick Foley, yes, WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley, that his mask looks very similar. Spot mask is very similar to Mick Foley's Mankind mask. I looked up online. Now, apparently, Mick Foley was actually going to sue Oda for copyright infringement, but Oda explained to him that he's a fan of wrestling, and this is done as a homage. And the fact that he's a big fan, probably a big fan of Mick Foley, so he did this as a homage to him. Probably based upon the villainous tendencies of the heelish tendencies of Mankind when he was portrayed back in the mid '90s when he was working for. Then, of course, now it's WWE. Back then was WWF. Like, that is so cool. The fact that he based a villain's mask on Mankind. Wow. And as far as I know, this is one of two wrestlers I can think of whose character is based upon a real life wrestler. Whitebeard is obviously based upon Hulk Hogan. Spottum is based upon Mick Foley, which is awesome. And after basically Oda explained to him about the purpose of Battle, he was like, yeah, I approve of this. Yes, Mick Foley approved of a character in anime, which I don't know if he's ever watched One Piece or not, I have no idea. If he is a One Piece fan, that would be awesome, because I'm sure he'd probably be so happy. Like, you have to explain to him, I'm sure he probably feels so happy that a character is based upon him. Which, that's always so cool to figure out, though, that a celebrity which uses the basis for a character. I forgot to mention to come to Aokiji. Aokiji's appearance is based upon an actual Japanese actor. I don't know the actor's name, but him and several of the admirals in the series, with the exception of Garp, who going to appear again post Enies lobby. Yeah, they're all based upon Japanese actors. Some of whom are still alive, some are actually have since passed away. But that's cool for Oda to do. Why not? I'm sure these are probably actors who are probably well known in Japan and have them be the physical appearance basis for actual admirals in this series is actually really tricky genius. Also, I should point out that Frankie is basically American, despite the fact he's in a Japanese world. Well, basically, yeah, he's like if he exists in the real world, he'd be American. Yeah, based upon how he acts, yeah. I've heard how he sounds in the sub. He does sound American. Despite the fact, yes, definitely the English dub, they gave him an American accent, which that fits in with the character. I'll also point out, though, about Frankie. He is based upon Jim Carrey. Yeah, he's based upon his Ace Ventura character. Which, if you look at him, yeah, you can kind of buy the fact that he's based on Ace Ventura. Especially since he copies his hairstyle. And the fact he has similar mannerisms. But Jim Carrey, as far as I know, didn't try to sue Oda over it. Only Mick Foley, basically, is all I can think. I had not looked up anything about if Jim Carrey got involved with this, or the studio who made Ace Ventura thought that basically that Frankie was a cheap ripoff of Ace Ventura. He really is. I mean, yeah, the side effect, you have similar shades, similar looks. Not the same character. He's not called Ace. His name is Frankie. His real name is Cuddy Flam. So, yeah, he's captured, and he's brought onto the Sea Train as a prisoner along with Usopp, just because he's there. Yep, just because he's there. And Sanji, of course, follows along. How he gets on the train is so hilarious. Like, okay, he's like, I can't let Sarah, I can't go this, I gotta get inside. And just by sheer coincidence, a government agent just happens to open the door, and he just walks right in, and kicks him in. All of a sudden, there's another guy. It's like, that's a cigarette inside. And then there's a giant in the room named Jerry. This guy looks like he's probably over. He looks taller than Dolph Mingo, who's 10 feet tall. This guy looks like he's almost like 24 feet tall. You don't exactly get a clear view exactly how tall this guy is because he's inside the cab. And of course, Sanji beats him pretty easily and beats him a whole train of government agents. And that's car 7. Car 6 walks up there, beats all these guys, no problem. And of course, frees Usopp and Frankie. Meanwhile, back at Water 7, Nami and the foreman of Galley Law goes looking for Luffy and Zoro. Luffy, of course, is once again stuck between two buildings. Zoro's caught in a frickin' chimney of all things. And of course, Chopper brought along Zoro's cursed sword. And they find him in the back streets. Yeah, that's where they find him. Luffy's there for himself basically by increasing his size and crushing two buildings at once. Zoro, thanks of course Chopper finding him, gives him a sword, and well, they find the problem. And so basically, even though they want to get out there, they can't exactly get a sea train next day, but they need to get out there. But luckily enough, Kokoro was like, "Hey, I got a sea train. Come with me." And so you have basically the 4 Straw Hats, Luffy, Nami, Zoro, and Chopper go. And Iceberg is actually preparing the thing to get the thing up to speed. And so, of course, Kokoro is volunteering to drive the damn thing. And this is Rocket Man, a failed prototype steam power train. Which, interesting the fact you have this. But unlike the Puffing Tom, which has got 7 cars, this one's got 1 car aside from the engine. Yeah, 1 car. I kind of get why. And there's maybe 1 bench inside the damn thing. So yeah. Also, Franklin wants to come along, and we're of course sure. And Luffy assumes they can come on the chain with him, but nope, they're following along with their bulls. And of course they do, and their bulls named Sodom and Gomorrah. Which, I don't know why in the world Oda named these 2 creatures after the 2 cities that were destroyed by God in the Bible. It seems so strange. You named 2 cool looking bulls after 2 cities that were eviscerated by God. Yeah, I'm not kidding about that. I've read the Bible, so this actually happened. Yep. Though I've heard there's been debate if actually these cities were in fact destroyed by God. It's been debated by scholars for years, but I believe it happened. Yeah, I do. So they catch the thing pretty easily. Of course, while it's flying out of a friggin' hole, they attach their bolt to it, and of course the girls come on board. And of course Luffy, who is wet, changes clothes during all this, changes from the blue shorts that he is known wearing in the series to black shorts. Also, Nami took the time to make sure he's got plenty of meat. And he proceeds to, of course, Nami is basically telling him, don't do this. He stuffs meat down his pants, in his pockets, yeah. Luckily enough, this does get played with later. And they're basically chasing after, well, off the sea train. Now, there's also a guy named T-Bone. Yes, he's a captain who apparently is bandaging up his own men despite the fact he's repping his own cool coat that he wears. Yeah, a lot of captains, a lot of high-ranking officers have got these cool-looking coats that say Japanese justice on the back. I love these coats. I don't know if these coats, if there's a cosplay version of these damn things, but I would love to own one of these coats. These coats look so cool to own, at least to wear. I don't know if basically these guys are uncomfortable wearing this, but these things are so cool. Make a cosplay of this damn thing, or at least have this official merchandise, because I love these freaking coats. Because you have the European style shoulder pads, the stripes, and basically look like a traditional, almost like a raincoat. But it looks so cool. And he, of course, is a swordsman. And when these cars are detached, you have basically Sanji, after he frees Frankie and Usopp, they proceed to detach his car, so he cuts open the door, thinks again, nope. I'll have to get to car 5, no problem. And course, they're stuck in the ocean, and T-Bone basically goes out and walks. He basically just runs on the tracks really fast. He's seen later, and he's caught up with the Rocket Man and Zoro. Well, first the Rocket Man comes across a curse. Their first obstacle is a giant tidal wave. From look of it, it looks like about 30 or 40 feet tall tidal wave that both Luffy and Zoro managed to cut a hole in the damn thing after both the former Galley Law and the Frankie family failed to put a dent in a tidal wave. So making this hole has the tracks, the underwater tracks, go up the water, go right through this damn hole, and go straight through, no problem. And that's when they come across the two train cars with Zoro, and So's like, Luffy, hey Zoro, cut them. He's like, okay. Slice. Right them in half. Yeah, of course, he slices them right down the middle. Which, that's actually pretty cool. Because if he slices them halfway like this, horizontally, it will still be in the way. So cutting it down vertically, smart move on the part of Zoro. And then of course he runs to T-Bone, has a brief battle with him, and beats him very easily, and has him fall in the water. As for the government agents and the Marines, yes, there are Marines in this train. They of course start rowing and go look for T-Bone. Meanwhile, on the remaining cars of the Puffy Tom, they go inside car 5, and it's a kitchen. And it's run by a guy who basically is very disgusting. He apparently can make ramen noodles by stuff a bunch of flour in his mouth, and then basically shoot noodles out of his nose. And he tries to serve it this way. He says his nose hairs are kind of like things for Colin. I'm like, that is disgusting. Even Sanji agrees this guy is disgusting. And Sanji agrees to battle him. And of course Frank and Usopp basically go to the next car. Car 3, which is nothing there. And on top of car 3 is new recruit Nero. Now, I believe this guy, let me look this up here, because I heard this guy's voice. I'm thinking this is Todd Peppercorn voicing him. Let me look it up on here. Because I'm thinking this guy was voiced by Peppercorn. Yep, I was right. It is Todd Peppercorn. Yeah. This is him. This is Nero. Yeah. And I was right. This guy is voiced by Peppercorn. Yep. And the thing is, he only appears in these episodes. I don't remember this guy ever appearing after this. Yeah, that's a strange thing, because he just disappears, and there's a reason for that. Yeah, basically Frankie battles him and defeats him by using his centaur mode, which is having his legs come apart, he's a cyborg, and pin him down and punch him really hard with his ultimate hammer, blast right through the front. It goes right through the train car into car 3. Now in the case of Sanji, he battles the ramen cook for about 4 episodes. And then he basically forms the noodles as a whip, and he makes arm with the damn thing. He's like, because if this was Luffy, he would probably eat these damn noodles. But I was like, ew, this guy is disgusting. So he proceeds to take the man's knives and just slice up these damn things like, oh look, a platter. And he makes like 4 plates this damn thing. And then after he cuts the arms of his armor, he cuts the legs, he cuts the thing up, and he proceeds to beat up his face. One of 2 times I can think of in the series where he's actually rearranged someone's face with his feet. He actually doesn't do this again until Sabaody. In the Sea Abago arc. That actually happened several arcs after this one. I think it's, let's see, there's Eroslavi. Let's see, how many arcs is there after this phase again? Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not for 6 arcs after this one he does it again. And of course, Usopp, who becomes Sniper King. And of course, it's a cool song like, Sniper King from Sniper Island. And he doesn't do very much, though, except for, like, he does not got one Marine who finds him on top of the roof. And he does gets a Robin really easily and talks to her. Yep. And then, of course, the government agent comes in, and then he does something that Luffy does later. Hides in a woman's cloak. And this is so hilarious. You have not Robin just have her arm facing on her leg. You have Usopp doing this. It's like, why are you making those goofy expressions? And of course the poke things. I thought that was so funny. Yeah, it's almost like Robin was sitting on Usopp's lap. I thought this was so hilarious. And eventually it's like, oh yeah, I'm out of there, and basically beats up the guy. And then of course he tries to take on one member of CPU and he gets taken out. And then it's like, okay, tell Spanky, okay, we got Robin, we need to get out of here. Okay, need to attack car 3, which also has car 4 and 5. And grabs Robin via Smoke Street, gets on the train, no problem. And then they're stopped by Califa's Thorn Whip and Bluto's air door. Yep, he just opens up the door, knocks out Sniper King, and takes out Sanji. Actually, Robin takes out Sanji. Not Sanji, he takes out Usopp. And of course they go back. And Sanji's upset by this. And of course, well, Robin goes back and she's there and then they go straight to Edo's lobby. Of course, we had this great conversation between Franky and Robin. Great job on the part of Patrick Stoltz, who was the voice of Franky, and Stephanie Young, the voice of Nika Robin. This is absolutely fantastic scene, and these two have got great chemistry with each other. Yep. Meanwhile, before we get to our show, talk about Edo's lobby itself and how weird this place is. I agree, this place looks so bizarre. We come back to the Straw Hats, where first they come across Yokozuna the Frog, first time since the start of this arc. Aside from the flag he appears in the flashback, he derails the train, but look how they're still in the water. Probably because of the special thing with the sea trains. And the bulls are detached, they go looking for it, and they're seen come across a couple sea cars. And the door opens, and it's Sanji. Don't worry, it's picked up a little later. And of course, Yokozuna volunteers to come along to go rescue Franky. Of course, to go rescue Robin as well. And then finally, we end this season with everybody at Edo's lobby, basically at the gates. They go to the first game. We see Edo's lobby, like, wow, it's like, what is this, a hole in the ocean? That's basically Franky's words. Seeing a waterfall is like, this is one of the most strangest things ever seen in this series, and this is the first time we see Edo's lobby. Of course, aside from this arc, the only other time this place is seen is in the Friend Separation arc that happens to Amazon Lily. That's the next and last time you see Edo's lobby. Well, of course, also appears in a bridge retelling of Edo's lobby, but yeah. Great ending to the season. Of course, Rob is not that shocked. Now, I should point out that Nami does know about this place. She has heard about this place, but before she came to Water 7. Like the fact that Edo's lobby has sort of a court. Yeah, it's actually, court is for show. They go straight to the gates of justice, and they don't mention about the bridge of hesitation that's actually mentioned in the next arc. And they go to Impel Down. That's the first time it's mentioned here. Though Impel Down is kind of seen here, but you don't get a full view of this place until the actual self-titled Impel Down arc itself. And Marine Headquarters, which the whole point of the conversation is to set up both Impel Down and Marine Ford. Which, great on the part of Nami to do that, unintentionally of course. And these episodes overall were really good. Now we're getting to fun episodes. Despite the fact this is sort of serious, but the Edo's lobby arc is so fun. Because there's so much action, and the fact that the first thing you get a chance to see is the combined alliance, which was formed toward the end of this, of the Straw Hats, the Franky family, and the Galley Law Shipwrights. Take on Army of Marines, government agents, and CP9. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to reviewing Edo's lobby because I love this arc. And I'll basically continue gushing about how awesome this arc is. Yep. Now, in the case of these episodes, aside from Nero and and of course the ramen chef guy, and T-Bone. I don't think there's any other new characters introduced in these 10 episodes. In this lobby, there's several new characters. Like, I'd say about 5 or 6. But it's not... I would say the one arc that introduces a whole boatload of characters to this series. I would say the first one that does this is, off the top of my head, is probably Impel Down. Yeah, at the Impel Down Marineford has like a large cast of characters, a lot of who making first appearances, which I'm looking forward to discussing those. Yeah, so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for tomorrow for my first review for Eno's Lobby, while we're discussing the first 15 episodes of this arc. So see you all there.